Hey everyone, welcome to part 4, the final assembly video of the Tamiya XV-02 Pro Rally Chassis Kit. In the last video, we wrapped up the suspension as well as installed the brushless motor. In this installment, we tackled the shocks, electronics, final assembly steps, as well as the body, wheels, and tires. Alrighty, let's dive right in. Okay, let's get started by opening and sorting Bag D. We always like to install the threaded collar O-rings first while our hands are free from any oils. Since there is a slight difference in the assembly of the front and rear shocks, we'll be building them separately. Let's get to the front shocks first. Add a drop of shock fluid to the O-rings prior to inserting them into the lower part of the shock. This helps get them lubricated prior to final shock assembly. The CompetitionX ball cup tool also helps with lower shock rod installation. See the link in the description for more information. Follow the same procedure to build the second front shock. Tamiya doesn't give a shock length measurement, however we do suggest measuring to make sure both shocks are the same length. Fill the shocks with fluid, bleed, and set aside to let the bubbles settle. For this build, we are using Team Associated 25 weight oil instead of the kit supplied yellow oil. While allowing the bubbles to settle in the front shocks, go ahead and start building the rear shocks. Again, there is a slight difference, so pay close attention during assembly. Again, a quick measurement to make sure the two rear shocks are the same length. Okay, time to wrap up all 4 shocks. Add a bit more fluid until it's almost flush with the top of the shock body, then slowly roll the bladder to push any excess fluid out. When installing the springs, make sure the A3 spacer on the outer part of the shock shaft is pushed down toward the shock rod end, away from the shock body. check the orientation of that A3 spacer on the rear shock spring installation as well. Nice job on the shocks. Admire your work for a few moments, then let's get cranking on the electronics install. The XV-02 Pro can be built with either a standard or low-profile servo. We've been working closely with Hitec on most of our builds lately and decided to drop in one of their new DB777 waterproof monsters. With a speed of 0.06 and 153 ounces of torque, the DB777 is plenty of servo for our rally needs. Since the DB777 uses a full metal gear train, we're swapping out the standard Tamiya servo saver with a solid arm for a more precise steering feel. Your wire routing may require a different strategy than ours. Use this as a guide, but feel free to reroute if necessary. Do not tighten these screws all the way until you've installed all four. Also, because of the amount of wiggle room the servo has when mounting, make sure it does not interfere with the area at the red arrow. Mine was hitting, but loosening the screws and shifting the servo fixed the issue. The manual has us installing the ESC closest to the motor, with the receiver right behind it. Because our servo lead wouldn't reach that far, we had to do a little rearranging. The other issue we faced was running all of those motor wires and sensor cabling so close to the receiver, so we decided to run the wiring down low but elevate the receiver on a piece of foam. This setup also cushions the receiver and has so far worked flawlessly. There's enough room on the chassis for most smaller electronics. As you can see, the fit is near perfect for our Reedy 800Z ESC and Futaba receiver. This wiring harness is optional. Even though we won't be using it, we installed it just in case. The battery side dust guard offers 2 screws to keep the doors secure. If you're using the included clear chassis dust cover, you only need to use the one M3 by 14mm screw. Use something like shoe glue or E6000 to glue the ends of the foam inserts together before installing. Since we'll be running some different rally tires, we're showing the install for build purposes only. Your XV-02 Pro is looking awesome. Only a few more steps until the chassis is complete. Time to wrap it up. Even though the anti-roll bars are not included, we're installing the mounting hardware anyway. The location of these body pins is going to be specific to the body you've chosen to use. The chassis is complete. Great job! This Velcro will be used to attach the clear inner dust cover. Make sure you mount it near the upper lip on the chassis. A quick overview of the completed XV-02. Notice the battery doors. They will stay in place and not open once the inner dust cover has been installed. The chassis is completely sealed underneath. No dirt is getting in under here. We opted to paint the inner dust cover silver before assembling. This will help it match the body once we're done. There are two ways to install the dust cover. We thought this to be the easiest way. Remove the tape from one side, flex the cover out, and install. Make sure the cover is all the way on, then press against the Velcro. Lift the opposite side of the dust cover up and remove the Velcro tape. Flex the body over the chassis and, once completely seated, press against the Velcro. Since we wanted to keep the livery on the body pristine, we decorated the inner dust cover with our supporters' logos. Like we said in the unboxing video, we had to go with the Lancia Delta body. We loved the low overhangs on both ends of the car and painted it silver so it would have a different look than our white XV-01. And that concludes the video build of Tamiya's XV-02 Pro Rally Chassis Kit. What a fun car to build and drive. We'd like to give a huge thanks to Futaba, Hitec, Reedy and Tamiya for supporting us during this build. We hope this video helped you out during the build of your XV-02 Pro. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified of future videos. We have a lot more builds and a lot more action coming your way. See you at the track.